It's time to lock in and make some money. UFC 315 Best Bet Show coming right at you. In 48 hours, we have 12 fights going down in the UFC. And we're going to do our best to pick the spots that we love the most and make a profit. That's what we do every single week. I got some bets locked in already. In this video, I'm going to share with you 2 bets. I'm going to let you know where you can get the third bet for free. I'm going to give you every single one of my DFS plays, which if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know you always want to tail those. If you're new to the channel, I'll show you why you got to tail those. In addition, I'll let you know where you can get every single one of my bets on UFC 315 absolutely free. But before we get into the bets for UFC 315, as always, we got to recap how last week went. And let me preface this with, last week was the first losing week that we have had in 8 weeks. We were on a 7-week winning streak, but all good streaks must come to an end. And we took some L's. Cam Smotherman took a fat L for us. I don't know what he was doing out there. He looked like a different fighter. I think he changed camps for this fight, and he just looked completely different for me. So the plus 130 money line on Cam Smotherman did not come through. This one hurt. Because Thomas Peterson was on top of him for, 12, 13 minutes of a 15-minute fight. Couldn't land ground and pound. Was trying to look for some submissions. Couldn't get it done. The even money play on the fight did not go the distance. It was a brutal watch. 15 minutes of 2 slops. And we lose our bet on the fight not to go the distance. Marco's decision. I thought we were maybe live after round 1. Round 1 was pretty competitive. Round 2... I'll give to Montel. Round 3, pretty competitive. But overall, it was a 30-27 for Montel Jackson. Marcos just couldn't get any offense going. So I got to credit Montel Jackson for the defense that he shows, whether it was grappling or striking. I mean, Marcos really couldn't touch the guy. So I got to give my credit to Montel Jackson, but we took a leap of faith on Daniel Marcos as the undefeated fighter with his win condition at plus 300 for Marcos' decision. He takes the L. So we got swept last week in the 3 bets that I gave you. Unfortunate. But overall, last week wasn't a great week for me. But we can turn that around here. As I said, we were on a 7-week winning streak before that. The best bets record last week was down 2.5 units last week throughout those 3 bets that I gave you. But we did cash in 2 units on DFS if you tailed those. We hit 2 out of the 4 slips. Almost hit the 5-legger on Underdog. Almost. If Cam Smotherman would have just threw a little bit more volume, I think we would have got it there. But overall, I was pretty happy with the DFS plays. Obviously you want to sweep every week, but overall I thought the reads were pretty solid, and we made money. So plus 2 units on DFS. If you tailed, congrats to you. But it's a new week, and the results from last week don't mean anything. But it did hold our momentum, which I'm a little pissed about. But we will get into another winning streak as we move on throughout the year. The Moneyline bet this week, it's got to be JDM. It's JDM season, boys. It's JDM season. Plus 175 is what I got it at. I got 1 unit on it. Now, I would have loved to get that plus 200 money. It looks like it's around plus 150, plus 160 right now. If it starts to creep up towards that plus 200 number again, I might have to add to it. Okay, because I have fallen in love with this Jack Della Moneyline bet because I think it's a great bet. Now, will it cash? It's not in my control. But I know Jack Della is a great scrambler. I know he has powerful hands. I know he has great knees. Overall striking is levels above Bilal Muhammad, in my opinion. The danger factor is there. Bilal Muhammad's been knocked down in 3 fights in his UFC career. He lost all 3 of those. JDM has a 1.6 knockdown rate per 15 minutes. This fight is 25 minutes, so he's got 25 minutes to land a knockdown on Bilal Muhammad, and he should win historically. That's not really why I'm making this bet, but that's just a nice little fact to throw out there. But JDM, great cardio, great pressure. Bilal Muhammad does not like to be pressured, and if he can't get the takedowns, he's a sitting duck because JDM's going to put that pressure on, and Bilal Muhammad cannot box with him. Bilal Muhammad has a 1-1 and a 1-2. Maybe a 1-2-3, but if he extends those combinations, JDM's a great counter striker who can fight out of both stances. He will make you pay if you stand in the pocket too long. He's great at his range, great striking defense. Obviously, Bilal's going to want to get him down to the ground. The takedown defense is around 70%. It's not terrible. But the big deal with JDM is he does not settle. He does not settle, and Belal Muhammad rarely does damage when he gets you to the ground, and he's not really looking for submission. So, even if Belal gets those takedowns, what's he going to do with them? Not much. Not much. I would assume Gilbert Burns is probably a better grappler once the fight hits the ground than Belal Muhammad. And Gilbert Burns couldn't really do much to JDM on the ground. JDM just kept scrambling, refusing to fuck off, get back to his feet, ultimately knocked him out in the third round. We got 25 minutes with JDM to make something happen. I believe he can do it. Even if it does go to a decision, JDM is still a very active fighter on the feet. He's not a Leon Edwards, low volume, just trying not to get hurt in there. He's very harmless. JDM is a damage-based fighter that is very tough and has great cardio. I think he's going to get it done this week, boys. I love the line on him as an underdog, plus 175. Bilal's 37. It's not going to be a long title reign for Belal Muhammad. I think JDM gets it done this Saturday. He's the Moneyline Bet this week. JDM season, plus 175. I got one unit on it, but like I said, if it grows more, I might have to add to it. Let's get into the Underdog Plays. As you can see here, we have hit 2 5-pick entries in 2025. We almost hit one last week. Unfortunate. Would have been nice. But overall, we're positive 92.57 units since 2024 on 2-pick entries alone, not even including these 18 and 20x payouts. So if you're in one of these highlighted states, you're going to want to download the Underdog app if you don't have it yet. Use code HeyJob, get that deposit bonus up to $1,000, and you can lock the plays in that I will give you. Also, this week, if you don't have the Underdog app yet and you want to sign up, you're going to get Della Maddalena gimme pick. 0.0 significant strike, so it's basically a free win. Even if he goes out there and doesn't land one significant strike, you get your entry refunded. So I would assume he's going to land at least one significant strike. So you're going to get a special on JDM if you sign up with code HeyJob, in addition to that deposit bonus up to $1,000. And if you're watching on a TV or a monitor or something like that, you can whip out your phone real quick, scan this QR code just to make it easier on you if you're going to download the Underdog app if you don't have it yet. Highly, highly encourage you to do so if you're in one of these available states. Let's take a look at the plays. We got 5 DFS 2-pick entries this week, so a little bit of a big week for DFS. The 5-pick entry here, Brad Katona, higher than 58.5 significant strikes. Brad Katona is a high-volume guy. Brad Katona is likely going to win this fight based on volume. He's hit 58.5. He's gone higher than 58.5 in every single UFC fight that he's had except for his UFC debut. Ever since he's come back in his second stint, he's 4-0. Going higher than 58.5. Looks pretty good to me. Okay, I think this fight probably does go 15 minutes. Brad Katona needs to win fights based on his volume and his pressure, and that's what he does every single fight. So Brad Katona higher than 58.5. I like it there. Jessica Andrade higher than 26.5. Jasmine Jasudavicius, great wrestler, but she is very hittable on the feet, and Jessica Andrade is very, very aggressive. She averages 6.4 something significant strikes per minute. That looks pretty good to me. This number is super, super low for a fight that is favored to go the distance, or about a pick 'em to go the distance. It's projected to go about 15 minutes. So if Jessica Andrade is going to be on the feet with Jasmine Jasudavicius, I think she's probably going to rack up some significant strikes. She's got great low kicks. She throws a lot of them. This number is just way too low. My projection actually had Jessica Andrade at 70 something, but that doesn't really account for the time that the fight will be on the ground, where, Jessica Andrade is probably going to be taken down throughout this fight, but every fight starts on the feet. Every round starts on the feet, and that's where Jessica Andrade can get her volume going. And Jessica Andrade's takedown defense isn't that bad, and Jasmine usually does strike with girls for the first half of the round. And if you look back historically, 5 of Jasmine's last 6 opponents have hit this. And the only fighter that didn't was Priscilla Cachoeira. It was very low level. This is a step up in competition for Jasmine as well. So I like the higher on Jessica Andrade at 26.5. Alexa Grasso, lower than 59.5. Natalia Silva's opponents have hit this in all 6 of her UFC fights. Natalia Silva has great striking defense because she is not there to be hit. She only absorbs 2.35 significant strikes per minute. Alexa Grasso is going to have a really, really hard time getting into range and landing significant strikes because Natalia Silva fights way out of range, and she's very effective doing it. So I like the lower on Alexa Grasso at 59.5. If you look, if I just, gassed up Jessica Andrade for how much volume she has, which is a lot, and Jessica Andrade just fought Natalia Silva. Andrade landed 50 significant strikes in a fight that was on the feet for all 15 minutes. Alexa Grasso is not as high volume as Jessica Andrade, so I think she gets way below 59.5. I could see her getting like 40, 45, something like that. I like that there. Ayman Zahabi, higher than 49.5 against Jose Aldo. Aldo, he's there to be hit. I don't really think this is going to be a super high volume striking affair in the kickboxing battle, but it's a kickboxing battle that I think is going to go 15 minutes. And considering Zahabi's at 49.5, I think he can get 20 per round. I think he should be able to get 20 per round. This is a 15-minute kickboxing battle where Jose Aldo he's not unhittable. He's a guy that'll stand in your face, and, he's going to hit you with some counters, but Zahabi's got a great jab. I expect Zahabi to really look to use that jab, use some leg kicks, and just skirt around the cage. So I think Zahabi gets probably 60 here over the course of 15 minutes, higher than 49.5. I like it. Manon Fiorot, lower than 99.5. Valentina's entire UFC career, which I believe is like 17 or 18 UFC fights, not a single opponent has gone over or has landed 100 significant strikes or more. They've all gone lower than 99.5. And you look at the level of competition she's faced, Amanda Nunes, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Jessica Andrade. These are good strikers. I like the lower for Manon Fiorot at 99.5. It's a 100% hit rate, so I like it. 5 correct there, wins 20x. Look at the two-leggers here. Modestas Bukauskas lower than 30.5. I think that fight ends early. I think Kudalaba is probably going to look to grapple. And Kudalaba doesn't absorb that many significant strikes unless he's stuck on the feet. I don't think he's going to be stuck on the feet. So I like the lower on Modestas Bukauskas at 30.5. Lower than 35.5 for Mike Malott. We have upside for the early finish. Mike Malott's not a high-volume guy. Charlie Radke doesn't get hit all that often. I mean, he's only absorbs about 3 significant strikes per minute, and I don't think Mike Malott's going to want to, stand in the pocket and trade with Charles Radke, who's got some big power. I think he's probably going to be looking to be tactical, maybe even looking to get the fight to the ground, but we have a lot of upside for early finish there. Both guys are finishers. Lower than 35.5 for Mike Malott. 2 picks, wins 3x there. And then we got Katona and Zahabi right here in the 2-pick entry to win 3x. And then we got a rivals here. We got a rivals pick. We got Alma Khan plus 14.5. Brad Katona, even though he's high volume, he's also very, very hittable. And I think we're getting this great line because Alma Khan just fought Umar Nurmagomedov, who I think outlanded him like 60-something to 5, something like that. Something crazy. So his statistics are it's only from one fight, and it was against Umar, who pretty much held him down for 12 minutes of the fight and landed ground and pound. So if Brad Katona and Alma Khan are going to be striking, Alma Khan's got a reach advantage. Brad Katona is very hittable himself, so at plus 14.5, it's just way too wide. And then we're going to pair that up with Jessica Andrade plus 16.5. She's a much more high-volume striker than Jasmine. Jasmine has about an even significant strike ratio, meaning where she lands compared to what she absorbs. So at 16.5, it's just way too wide. 2 picks, wins 3x there on the rivals section. Those are the underdog plays. Once again, you're going to get Jack Della Maddalena for the gimme pick if you sign up using code HeyJive. Get that deposit bonus up to $1,000. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to the link down in the description below. And if you want to be a winning, I don't want to say gambler, but if you want to win in this game, okay, you got to shop the best lines. You have to. You have to have multiple different tools in the arsenal. One tool to add to your arsenal is Chalkboard. It's another DFS app. They're not super quick to adding lines. They usually add their lines on like Friday, so they don't have the significant strike lines up just yet, but they'll add them on Friday and Saturday. So if you're watching this on a Friday or Saturday, and you should have this, whether you're going to watch it on Friday or Saturday or not, but you should have it in your arsenal so that you can go and shop the best line. So if Chalkboard has a better line than, say, Underdog does on Brad Katona significant strikes, you're going to want to play the one on Chalkboard. Okay, that's just how this works. You always want to get the best line. So you got to get chalkboard into your arsenal. There's a link down in the description below. You get your deposit bonus up to $100 if you use code HeyJive. So you have some free money to play with. It's another tool in your arsenal you got to have. Let's get into the prop bet. Prop bet this week is going to be Charles Radtke plus 3.5. I was very shocked to see the line at even money. Even money. I know Mike Malott is a finisher, and the way that this would lose is if Mike Malott finishes Charles Radtke. So, say Charles Radtke loses by finish, automatic loss. But I don't think Charles Radtke's like chinny. I don't think he's an easy guy to sub. So I think the overall durability edge would maybe go to Radtke. I don't really see Radtke getting finished unless it's just something crazy like a head kick or just a beautiful 1-2 or something like that. Like, yeah, he got knocked out by Carlos Prates with a knee to the liver, but that thing would have killed a horse, man. Like, that was just brutal. Radtke plus 3.5 basically means if he doesn't get finished, goes to the scorecards, he wins one round on all three judges' scorecards, we win. Do I think it's going to hit the scorecards? Not really, but possibly. But I also love the finishing ability that Radtke shows. And obviously, if Radtke finishes Mike Malott, it's an automatic cash. I think Charles Radtke is really live for a KO here. But, you know, even if it does go to 15 minutes, I think he's going to touch Mike Malott at some point with his hands, and Mike Malott's going to feel it, and he's probably going to win that round. So I like Charles Radtke, you know, as an underdog here, but I'm just going to play the plus 3.5 spread because, you know, if he gets finished, I would have lost the Moneyline bet anyway. But if it goes to a decision and, you know, maybe Mike Malott gets some home cooking, being that it's in Canada, and he loses a 29-28, I'll still get paid. So I like Charles Radtke here at plus 3.5 for even money for 1 unit. There's your prop bet for the week. Now, if you want all my bets this week, you can jump in the Home of Fight Picks Winnable. Use code Canada, and you're going to get a 7-day free trial. I said we were on that 7-week winning streak. We took our first L in quite some time last week on UFC Des Moines, but we're still positive 35.95 units in 2025 so far. And this is a pay-per-view card. And I was looking at, you know, my results, and I was like, damn, kind of be cooking on them pay-per-views. So I looked at it, did the math. Pay-per-views were undefeated in 2025. There's been 4. We've been profitable all 4, and majority of that 35.95 units has come from pay-per-views. Plus 22.42 units on pay-per-views in 2025. The last 2 pay-per-views we've absolutely crushed, so might be a good time to join. We're coming off the loss, so maybe we can bounce back with a big pay-per-view card as we have for the last couple pay-per-views and in 2025 overall. So if you want all my bets, that's where you're going to get every single one of my bets. That's where you're going to get my DFS plays earlier in the week before the lines move. Jump in the Home of Fight Picks Premium membership. There's a link down in the description below. Use code Canada. You'll get a 7-day free trial. Now, the third bet, I usually give you 3 bets on the Best Bet show, but there's a couple fights that I really need to see weigh-ins for just to kind of, you know, validate some things or maybe I'm just waiting to see what these guys look like. And I'll be honest, I don't think this is going to be a card that I have a lot of bets on. I might sprinkle on a couple props here that I see value, but I only have 5 or 6 bets locked in right now. And I didn't want to give all of them away or half of them away because that'd be unfair to the premium members. So I need to wait a couple days or wait a day just to see the weigh-ins, and then I'll probably add a few more. So if you want the third bet, I'll always give you 3 bets for free every single week. Jump in my Telegram. It's absolutely free to join. There's no catch in it. It's just free to join. It's on Telegram. Free to join, and that's also where I send out the DFS plays, so it's easier for you to look at. If you're watching this video, it's kind of hard, so it's easier for you to look at on the Telegram. The third bet I will be posting in the Telegram for free. There's a link down in the description below. Just got to get that out there because I always like to give you 3 free bets per week. Let's get into the Better Picks plays. If you're in one of these purple states, you're going to want to download Better Picks if you haven't yet, because the last pay-per-view we hit that 100x multiplier. Maybe we do it again. As I said before, plus 92.57 units since 2024 on the 2-pick entries on DFS. Use code HeyJive when you sign up on Better Picks. Get that deposit bonus up to $250. There's a link down in the description below. Let's take a look at the 100Xer this week. Got Brad Katona higher. Navajo Sterling higher than 45.5 significant strikes. I think he's going to rack up a lot of kicks. A lot of kicks because Ruslan is a boxer. He's going to be open to those kicks. Navajo's not going to be wanting to stand in the pocket. And, you know, he's got a huge reach and length advantage in this one. I would say he uses his kicks, which are teeps up the middle, leg kicks, head kicks, body kicks. I think he's going to rack those up. And I don't really see Ruslan as a chinny guy. I think even if he does get hurt, he's got pretty good recoverability. So I like Navajo Sterling higher than 45.5 here on significant strikes. There, we got Bukaskas lower, Jessica Andrade higher, Grasso lower, Zahabi higher, Fiorot lower, and Mike Malott lower. There's your 8-pick play on Betr Picks. $50 wins $5,000. 100x multiplier. We've done it before. We did it last pay-per-view. Let's do it again on Saturday. The 2-pick entry to win 3x. We got Navajo Sterling higher, Jessica Andrade higher as well. And then this one I absolutely love because if you look at their opponents, Alexa Grasso's facing Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva's opponents have hit this in all of her UFC fights. Manon Fiorot facing Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko's opponents have hit this in all of her UFC fights. So I think it's a great play right there. 2 picks, correct, wins 3x on Betr Picks. Purple State is available to you. Betr Picks, code HeyJob gets you deposit bonus up to $250. So you can put these plays in for free. Let's make some money. There's a link down in the description below. Lock them in. And lastly, I'll thank you for watching. And if you want to support the channel, go to ProfessorParlayShop.com. You can cop one of my Professor Parlay shirts. Black and white, super easy, high quality stuff. Goes to a good cause. I'm not making money on these boys. I just want to give you guys a solid product. To rep, feel good about your parlays on a Saturday. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you don't want to purchase, just hit the like button for me. It's cool. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below with your bets. Let me know what you think about my bets. Don't be a hater, but you can let me know if you think I'm wrong or not. But appreciate you. We'll be back here on Friday with the Long Shots Only live show. Till next time, HeyJob Picks.